Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Stock Talk. This is a series I make whenever I feel it's necessary where we cover some exciting news and price action in regard to some of the stocks we've been talking about on the channel. In today's case, we're going to be focusing on the EV sector. To be more specific, Nikola, Tesla, and NIO, as you can see on my watch list up here. So we will just go down the line here. We'll take a look at each of their charts, and I'll also bring up any relating articles to the stock that I felt were worth mentioning, okay? So in this case, today, we're actually gonna be pretty heavily focused on Nikola. There is this last article that I wanna cover prior to going into Tesla, where Elon Musk mocks Nikola. So it's still about Nikola, but we're transitioning into Tesla pretty nicely. Again, though, we will take a look at both the charts of Tesla and NIO, but there is a heavy focus on Nikola in this episode of Stock Talk. Before we dive in, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you gain any value from it, and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Greatly appreciated. Okay, so let's get into the chart after we cover the fundamentals, okay? Always prioritize the fundamentals over the technicals, at least I do. Okay, so boom, Nikola got its first rating from Wall Street. It's about Nikola, the fuel cell and battery powered heavy duty trucking company, got its first bullish rating from Wall Street on Wednesday. Cowen analyst Jeffrey Osborne launched coverage of the company, rating shares the equivalent of buy. His target for the stock price is $79, up about 25% from Tuesday's closing level. No analysts covered the company before Wednesday, so that's why this is pretty significant. This is actually the first analyst rating. Always be careful with the analyst ratings. You never know if these guys are biased, which it is pretty likely they are. They could hold a bag in Nikola and give it a high rating. So obviously they gain from their investments. Not all analysts are ever going to be like that. There are a lot of them who are operating with good intentions, but always be a little hesitant when you're just looking at analyst ratings. Okay, so that's the first one. That's positive. This one gets a little more negative. Nikola stock dips after report of CEO exaggerations. Nikola CEO Trevor Milton suggested at a 2016 event that a prototype big rig fully functions and works. But anonymous sources said that it did not have a fuel cell nor other parts that would have allowed it to be operable. I never deceived anyone, Milton told Bloomberg. At the time of the Nikola One unveiling, Milton said that that deliveries of the truck would begin in 2020, but the company now says it expects no revenue this year. Okay, so if you guys did watch my Nikola breakdown, should you buy Nikola, should you invest, I did talk about how awful the financials are. And to be completely honest, all of this, the fundamentals in a stock like this that's just running in a market, like a stock like this, in a market like this, the fundamentals do drive, I would say, general direction, but a lot of it's just hype. You guys know, just looking at this chart, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Nikola at this point. Like, this is a hype-driven stock. This is a FOMO stock. I would say this is a bubble, but I will explain why I don't think this bubble is ready to pop yet. Okay, so we'll actually, we'll take a look at this, and then we'll just transfer right into Tesla charts right after the Nikola chart. Okay, so Elon Musk mocks Nikola Motors as dumb. Is he right? Is he right? Staggeringly dumb. Okay, so I'll just read this part that kind of highlights what he said. Musk hates all caps, really hates, the idea of using hydrogen energy to power vehicles. Hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. It's been used as energy source for decades. In fact, NASA has been using it since the 50s as rocket fuel for its space missions. But Musk hates hydrogen fuel cells. He's called them fool cells, nice play on words there, and says using them to power vehicles is mind-bogglingly stupid. All right, so shots fired. I think in the last Stock Talk, I actually talked, it was a similar article, but obviously Musk, a lot of people kind of were upset that I even talked about Nikola as a competitor to Tesla. Completely agree with that. It's just don't put so much weight on those words, although I do get it. Nikola is not, as of right now, a formidable opponent. It is a competitor. It's striving to be a competitor, but is by no means a formidable opponent to Tesla at this point. Nikola has 0 cars on the road. Tesla actually has more cars in space than Nikola has on the road right now, which is 1, still more than Nikola has on the road. But again, their share price, their market cap is sitting at, let's take a look here and we'll just go straight into the chart. So market cap is at $23 billion, almost the size of Ford. It was the exact same size as Ford last time I did a Stock Talk on Nikola. So still obviously way overvalued from a fundamental financial perspective. But again, the financials don't matter. A lot of investors in this market as a whole are betting on hopium and the fact that years, if not generations from now, this company will be worth something. Okay, so fundamentals aside, let's take a look at the charts. I have this drawn here, and you could view this as 2 ways. I would call this a bull flag in a sense. Okay, this is almost an elongated bull flag. If you have followed the channel, you would know I love my bull flags, and this current market. I've been seeing more bull flags than I ever have in my career of trading. Okay, so a bull flag, you get a parabolic move up where it just goes straight up to the moon, like we saw in Nikola, and then you see this descending triangle. Okay, so this is a very long bull flag. It's almost as long as it is tall, which is worrying me, and which kind of arguably classifies it almost not as a bull flag. But so a bull flag, as I'm sure you'd know, based on its name, is a very bullish pattern. Okay, historically, when you see a bull flag at the tip of the flag or somewhere around here, it will break out. Okay, so just on that note, I do think that tomorrow will definitely be a day of either reckoning or joy for Nikola. But I do predict a large move tomorrow. Always remember, you guys, this is just my opinion. Bull flags don't always play out. A lot of the time they do, to be honest. But remember, guys, this is just my opinion. I'm just letting you guys know what I'm seeing through my lens. Okay, so I do expect a big move either up or down tomorrow. If this is a bull flag, like I believe it is, it should break out to the upside, like right at the tip of the flag. So this pattern potentially tomorrow could play out perfectly as a bull flag or perfectly as a descending triangle. So bull flag is a bullish pattern, but a descending triangle, which is this triangle right here, this kind of right angle looking thing, is a bearish pattern. Okay, so I think tomorrow, which would be Thursday, June 18th, sorry, there's going to be a big move. Okay, so I'm expecting it to either break to the upside or break to the downside, but I would say at least a 10% move is in store for Nikola. So it'll be exciting to see. I personally think, again, I did mention that I do see this as a bull flag myself. And if you guys have followed the channel, you would know that I always talk about my theory of the two waves. Okay, the two wave theory that I've just kind of coined myself. When you see parabolic moves like this in bubbles, it's happened in past bubbles that I've played, cannabis cryptocurrency, you always see two waves. Okay, and this happens a lot. We saw this with Moderna as well when we were covering that stock a few months ago. Still covering it as well. But this happened in Moderna. This happens in a lot of bubbles. You see this parabolic move up, and then you see a sharp correction. Obviously, this first wave of the bubble kind of pops, capitulates for a while, goes sideways, which is actually bullish, the fact that it hasn't just completely tanked yet. So it goes sideways, and again, it's kind of just, in my mind, this will break to the upside. This has just been storing a lot of momentum for this next move up, and I think the second wave is about to be initiated tomorrow. Again, this could be a descending triangle, not a bull flag. And in that case, if that plays out from a technical perspective, it will probably crash down back to like the $40 region where it set these two previous highs at the beginning of the month. So that could play out as well. Never discount that. I personally believe, my money is on this, that it will break out to the upside. And I do think that Nikola, if it breaks to the upside again, you guys, this is a bubble. I know this is a bubble. I don't believe in this. Like, I would never hold, right now, I would not buy this company just to buy and hold for a couple of years. But I do think it's a bubble. I love playing bubbles, and I do think we will see a move to the upside. And I wouldn't be surprised at all to see it hit $100, similar to like a lot of stocks in the cannabis bubble a few years ago. Okay, so I do expect this to break out to the upside. We will see in the morning. It's very exciting times in both the markets and the stock. This is kind of the poster child for just wild stocks in the market right now. Wild stock in a wild market. So I'm very excited to see how this plays out. Hopefully I'm right. If not, learn from your mistakes. Okay, so that said, let's get on to Tesla. Again, I'm going to keep these short. I really wanted just to focus on Nikola in this because there's the most going on. Tesla, if you guys have heard me cover Tesla before, if you listened to the last Stock Talk, you would know that I do also think Tesla is a bubble, but I also think Tesla is obviously has a way better base and a way brighter future ahead of it. Like energy, solar, cars, they kind of branch out into more regions than just vehicles. Okay, and Tesla is in fact just about at its all-time high. Okay, and Tesla from a technical perspective, this is very ground level technical. I'm not doing anything crazy right here. Okay, is doing very well. All right, it's been following this general pattern since it kind of broke out of its lows back in March. So since the beginning of April, it's been following this just kind of like this beam-like trajectory for the past couple months. It has been staying in this channel well, and I do think that Tesla could potentially try to go and test like the 1070 to maybe even $1,100 region if it does play to the upside. But also, if you guys have been watching my videos, you guys would know that I'm pretty bearish on the market. I do think the market is a bubble right now that is waiting to pop. Tesla has proven a lot of people wrong, a lot of short sellers wrong in this market. I would say Tesla as an asset is almost the strongest asset in terms of people holding it who have like just ultra strong hands. Okay, they have a very passionate investor base. The people who hold Tesla are holding Tesla. All right, they got strong hands to hold in bags. Okay, so Tesla, you never know. Like, Tesla has done a very good job at outpacing the current markets, even on this bounce up. So Tesla, I mean, again, I love Elon Musk. I love the company. I think they're doing a great thing in this world. I think they have a very bright future. The financials are obviously way behind the current stock price and valuation. But again, in this market, it really doesn't matter. So I think that if the general markets do see a significant correction, like I think they will, Tesla might see a pullback down to like maybe the 850 region. But again, Tesla is such an up in the air stock in my mind. I don't personally trade Tesla, not anymore at least. But again, the people holding Tesla, the people who are invested in Tesla, have some thick hands. All right, they're holding their bags. So I personally just don't bet against Tesla anymore. And it actually looks pretty promising right now. I do think it might break out to the upside and hit hit probably like the 1070 to $1,100 region. All right. The thing about Tesla, though, that I actually want to go back to Nikola real quick after this, the volume you can see here is significantly declining. All right. So even when the share price was lower back here, everyone kind of bought in, and everyone was buying and everyone was selling. Right now, like I was saying with the bag holders, like a lot of people are just keeping the strong-handed holders are keeping the stock flat. It's still super high, almost at all-time highs, but the volume is way down. All right. So not many people are trading Tesla right now, which is traditionally bearish. It can go either way. It could be bullish. Like if you see a significant break to the upside, it might boost it even higher. But a drop in volume, in my experience, is usually bearish. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it go to the downside either. So I didn't really come to any I didn't really sum up anything there, but I'm just trying to articulate my thoughts as I'm having them. Okay, so enough ranting on Tesla. Let's move on to NIO. Last but not least, NIO is following a very similar kind of just beam-like trajectory ever since a little later. All right, so NIO's been flat. They've been since their March lows. When was March? They're actually NIO didn't really recover from that significant drop back in March until just like the end of May. Okay, so over the past couple of weeks, NIO's been on a tear. I did mention NIO was looking very good in the last stock talk I did about a week ago on these three. And they are doing well. I did think, though, that NIO, since they announced they were issuing a secondary offering, pricing their stock at about like 620 or something. I didn't think personally that it was going to go above that, but it actually just a couple days ago hit like the $740 mark. So I wish I kept those calls because I got rid of them after the secondary offering. I definitely would have reaped some reward on that. But NIO is looking pretty strong right now. Again, there's so much hype behind the EV space, the EV sector as a whole, with Nikola just being the hottest stock in the market right now. And NIO is significantly below, not significantly below anymore, but we'll actually take a look. I want to show you guys this. So actually here, we'll just go 5-year on NIO and then zoom in a little bit. So NIO IPO'd. It's a little hard to see on the trading view chart. NIO IPO'd at so NIO IPO'd realistically at about $12. I just know that from looking at the chart a bunch of times. But NIO IPO'd at about $12. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, if, again, the general markets do play a big role in this. Like, the markets have to continue to do well, or Tesla and Nikola at least have to continue to do well, for NIO as kind of what is perceived as the little brother to kind of follow suit. But again, if Nikola does shoot to the moon like I think it will, I think NIO might have potential, even if their secondary offering is priced at like 620. Again, investors just don't care right now. So I do think NIO could probably hit at least $9, just moving up. Like, look at previous. It did spend a lot of time kind of around the $8 region. So I think $8, which it almost hit. It hit what, 740. I think $8 is a safe bet. I think NIO could definitely hit $8 if Nikola does pop off. Because again, although these are viewed as competitors, a lot of times these sectors, and it applies to all sectors move in unison a lot of the time. Okay, so if Tesla pops up, Nikola might move up. Maybe not now because there's so much there is so much confrontation between those two. But over time, if one of these does well, Tesla being the big daddy, being the father, Tesla does well, Nikola will probably do well, NIO will probably follow suit. Okay, so we'll call it there, guys. I really appreciate you watching. Again, please leave a like if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel if you're new once again. Drop a comment down below. Let me know if you're invested in any of these, what you think, if I missed anything, or if you think or if you want me to cover anything in regard to these stocks in the future. Yeah, just let me know what you're thinking and what stocks you'd like me to cover next, okay? Also, you guys can check out my complete portfolio and daily newsletter. First link down in the description. It's exactly as it states. Complete breakdown of my portfolio, all call options, put options, stock positions, cryptocurrency positions. Along with those, I do send out a daily newsletter I should say every trading daily newsletter on every trading day, talking about the trades I made that day and why, just kind of rationalizing my thoughts through those trades, as well as my general thoughts on the markets as a whole. Okay, so if you want to know, I actually only hold Nikola positions right now, so don't be disappointed if you happen to sign up and don't see either of these. That's a fair warning, but if you want to see my exact Nikola position, check that out. Really appreciate it if you do. If not, no worries, but we will call it there, guys. Appreciate you watching once again. As always, take action, make waves. Until next time, peace.